If we choose to play small, this is the price you're going to pay for that. You will not feel as fulfilled. You aren't going to get to see how capable you are. You may end up building resentment. You may end up resenting the people who voice their opinions to you and resenting even listening to them and trusting them. And then in the end, resenting yourself for not being more solidified in your belief. You may end up living with regrets years later, wondering like, oh, I wonder what could have been, what should have been, the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. That's exhausting. You should have just trusted yourself.
Welcome to Next Level You podcast. I'm Stefanie Dingbaum, your host, your biggest cheerleader, and your go-to girlfriend for real, raw, and uplifting conversations about leveling up in life. As a mental health therapist with over a decade of experience and a business coach helping women elevate their lives and businesses, I'm here to guide you through the mindset shifts, holistic practices, and manifestation tools you need to step into your most authentic, next level self. Whether you're here to ignite your personal growth, elevate your professional game, or simply rediscover you, this podcast is your invitation to dream bigger, go after your goals, and unapologetically claim the life you deserve. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. It's time to up-level, manifest, and glow.
Welcome back to Beautiful Souls. It's Next Level You podcast with Stefanie Dingbaum. I started this new tradition where at the start of every solo episode, I do a brief shout out to another local business that I have just been watching, supporting, watching them kill it. And in today's episode, I want to do a shout out to Rooted Pediatric. Rooted Pediatric is in the same office building as me, and she's actually been on the podcast before, back when she first launched her business. And I have had the privilege of growing alongside her, watching her go after her dream. Her name is Brooke McTaggart, and she's not only my son's pediatrician, she's a functional pediatrician, which I love. I knew even before we had him that I wanted to find that kind of a pediatrician. I just lost a lot of hope in Western medicine pediatricians, and I just knew I wanted somebody more holistic that was open to other ways of looking at health and healing. And she's just been amazing. She's been amazing for our family, and she's been amazing for Augie. And I have just loved growing alongside of her and cheering each other on and watching her business grow, watching her mindset improve over the last few years. It's just been awesome. We've truly become like business besties. And I love that we have just grown so close. And I also love that we're in the same office as each other. So if you're local to the Eastern Iowa area, I highly recommend Brooke with Rooted Pediatric. Take your kids there. She can do annual child visits, and she can also do sick visits. I mean, literally all the things, functional med visits, whatever you feel you're wanting. But the difference between Brooke and a traditional pediatrician is she spends more than 15 minutes with you. She truly listens to you. You're allowed to have opposing views, and she's not going to sway you to do what traditional medicine thinks you should do. And I think we truly need more providers like that out there. It's, in my opinion, ridiculous to expect that we're all going to feel the same way about our child's health care needs. So anyways, brief shout out to Brooke at Rooted. Give her a follow. And if you're local to the area, go take your kids to her. Okay, let's dive into today's episode, you guys. So what I want to talk to you all about today is the importance of pursuing what truly lights you up inside. And sometimes when we go all in on a dream or all in on a project or a new launch or whatever it might be, some people will not understand it and will not support it. And that's okay, right? Because we all were put on this earth with different missions. Each of our souls was put on this earth to pursue a different mission. And it's unrealistic to expect that we are all going to see eye to eye on all of our passions and all of our goals and all of our visions. And I think the important thing, and what I really want to push in today's episode, is it's okay to go after what lights you up, even when other people don't understand it or don't support it. That doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you make yourself small because they don't get it. You show up anyways. And sometimes other people's fears and pride and insecurities can totally be projected onto us when we are going after what lights us up inside. And I'm going to encourage you today to not dim your light just to appease others, just to make others comfortable, just to not trigger others. It takes a lot of courage to go after what you're truly passionate about, what truly lights you up inside. And it takes a lot of faith to not let other people's opinions get in the way of our dreams. Okay. If you're waiting for everyone to understand your vision before you go after it, you're literally going to be waiting forever. Because again, it's unrealistic to expect that everybody's going to understand where you're coming from or why you're going after what you're going after. But honestly, the people who don't understand, that says nothing about your vision. It actually says everything about where they are at. And that's okay, right? Because we are all growing and evolving at different speeds, and that's okay. They don't have to understand. What really matters at the end of the day is that your belief in yourself and your anchor in this goal and in this vision is stronger than what other people think of you. So, as some of you might know, I've recently stepped into a new role. I am now a chapter leader for Sister Circle chapter in our area, in our Eastern Iowa area. It's a Dubuque Sister Circle chapter. And I'm also launching some offers in my online business as well. And with both of these things, with launching my coaching business, launching my group offers, with all of those things and the chapter, some people didn't understand why I was adding this onto my plate, didn't understand why I was putting this chapter as yet another project on my plate. And I had to stand in my truth. I had to not let other people's fears or doubts or insecurities get in the way of my vision, something that was put on my heart. I don't know why. I don't know the big picture yet, but all I do know is it was put on my heart for a reason. It feels very aligned. And it's not my job to convince other people to agree with that. Because if you're going after something that lights you up, then at the end of the day, that's, I believe, all that matters. What I really want this episode to be for you today is like a giant permission slip to pursue your vision, even when others don't understand it. A permission slip to not stay small just so you make other people comfortable. A permission slip to show up fully, unapologetically yourself, even if that might make other people uncomfortable. That's the era I'm in, you guys. I'm done keeping myself at a certain level just because that next level might make people uncomfortable. Okay. And I encourage you to do the same thing. So let's talk about, first off, what happens when you go after something big? Well, you light up. You are usually like bubbly and there might be a glow about you. You're more energized inside. You're more likely to step into your power. And those things, all of those things might make people really uncomfortable. And it has nothing to do with your vision being wrong, but it actually speaks more to your vision probably challenging them. Not always, but sometimes it reminds them of the lack in their life. And that can be where they're coming from. But there could be a number of reasons why it triggers them. That's just one example. And another reason people could be uncomfortable with that is your vision that you're going after. It might look different from what they've chosen. Maybe they're taking a more traditional route to success, and yours to them seems so non traditional. That's okay. Again, that's not a you problem. Another reason people don't always understand is because your confidence might feel threatening because maybe they are battling with a lot of self doubt and they don't want to admit that to themselves or to anybody else. And them seeing you show up so confidently, so sure of yourself, that can be really triggering when you're lacking that confidence. You're literally mirroring to them something that's making them really uncomfortable. And then another reason that I have for why others don't always understand is, again, like similar to what I was just saying, your expansion might be highlighting to them where they're stagnant. And so it could be a number of reasons. These are what I find to be the most common with why sometimes people don't support or understand or see our vision, our passion. And I want you to remember this: when people are not supportive, when people do not understand, that is not a you problem. That is a them problem. They are likely carrying fears, things like, what if this fails? What if you fail? They might be feeling insecure. I could never do that. Or you really shouldn't do that. Who does that in this area? Who does a podcast in this area? Like things like that. That's an insecurity. Maybe they're projecting onto you their pride, like telling themselves, like, I don't understand it, or I just don't think this is a good idea. Well, you might not have been asking them. They might be projecting onto you their own limiting beliefs. Like, there's no way that's going to work for you. That's just not how things are done. Just because it's not how things are traditionally done doesn't mean you can't do it that way. There aren't a ton of people in my area doing online businesses, but here I am building an online business on the side of my private practice. Just because it looks non-traditional to some doesn't mean it doesn't work. So again, I want you to recognize that when people are not supportive, when people don't fully see your vision or your passion, that's okay. Understand that it's not personal to you. It is them. It is their fear. It is their pride. It is their insecurity and their limiting beliefs. That is not a you problem, not solely. The reality of this whole situation is that when people react like this, saying things like, what if it fails? Or you shouldn't do this, or nobody does this, it's not a good idea. The reality is that their reaction is a them problem, like I said. But I want you to be careful because it can be really easy to believe them and fall into that trap and then doubting yourself. If you are solidified in your belief in this project, in this vision, whatever it may be, you cannot let other people's opinions sway you. You need to be solidified in your why. If you're not, what you're going to do is you are going to shrink yourself in order to make them comfortable. So when you pursue something that other people don't understand, what it leads to is it makes people question their own choices. Say things like, well, if she can do that, why can't I? Or why am I playing small? Why do I care so much? Why did I give up on my dream? And your courage to go after said project or vision literally acts like a mirror to other people. And if they don't like what they're seeing, people, they struggle. They get upset. They project onto you. They might say things that they don't mean. They might not celebrate you like you would expect them to. They might criticize you. And all of that just comes down to their own self-doubt. And that's fine because it's normal. We all carry that to a degree. It's just maybe you, like me, have turned the volume down on the self-doubt, and it literally has become more of a whisper for you. Whereas for a majority of society, it's pretty loud. That inner critic is pretty loud. But I want to be honest here because that's the whole idea behind the podcast is we're not fluffing things. We're not bullshitting. You cannot fix other people's discomfort, okay? It's not your job to fix that. The only way to make them stay comfortable is for you to stay small. And you have to ask yourself, is that a price you want to pay? Or would you rather continue to go after your dream, your desire, your vision, whatever it is? If you choose to stay small, this is what that could look like for you. Not launching the offer because somebody believes it won't work for you. Not starting a project because someone didn't think that was a very good idea. Not stepping into a leadership role because maybe people don't think others will follow, or it's not a room for them, so therefore they don't think others will want it.
Can we talk about something real for a second? How many of you are doing everything right? Eating clean, working out, drinking your water, taking your supplements, and yet you still feel off. Like, you look in the mirror and your skin looks dull, you feel bloated for no reason, your energy doesn't match the effort you're putting in, and you're standing in front of a bathroom counter covered in serums and supplements thinking, why is this so complicated? And why isn't any of this actually working? Yeah, I've been there too. And that's exactly why I'm so excited to tell you all about Glossy. Glossy was created by my business coach, Lori Harder, who is an absolute powerhouse and one of my biggest expanders. And here's what I love about her story. Lori and her team were living the healthy lifestyle. They were doing all the things, but they still felt bloated, drained, and frustrated that their skin and energy didn't reflect the work that they were putting in. So they asked themselves, why are we overcomplicating this? And from that question, Glossy was born. A beauty meets wellness formula that supports your skin, gut, and hydration from the inside out. It's not another serum. It's not another drawer full of pills. It's one simple ritual that actually makes a difference. Here's what sets Glossy apart. It's science-backed, it's clean, and it works on multiple levels. You're not just addressing surface level stuff. You're supporting your gut health, your skin's glow, your body's hydration. It's holistic wellness in the truest sense. And honestly, I can feel the difference. My skin looks clearer, my energy feels lighter, and I'm not dealing with that annoying bloat that used to follow me around no matter what I ate. It's one of those things where you didn't realize how off you were feeling until you start feeling right. Because here's the truth, great skin and a lighter, more energized body shouldn't be complicated. It should make your life better, not add to your overwhelm. If you are someone who's been doing all the right things but still not seeing or feeling the results you want, if you're tired of the endless routines and the products that overpromise and underdeliver, Glossy is what you've been looking for. It's simple, it's effective, and it actually works. Head to getglossy.com, that's getglossy.com, and use code NEXTLEVEL for 10% off your first order. Again, getglossy.com and use code NEXTLEVELU for 10% off your first order. Trust me, this is the one thing you're going to want to add to your routine. And honestly, it might be the only thing you need.
Dimming your light so that nobody feels threatened around you. And then this is a big one, apologizing for your ambition or your success or your joy. No, we don't apologize for those things. We celebrate those things, but we should not be apologizing for them. If we choose to play small, this is the price you're going to pay for that. You will not feel as fulfilled. You aren't going to get to see how capable you are. You may end up building resentment. You may end up resenting the people who voice their opinions to you and resenting even listening to them and trusting them. And then in the end, resenting yourself for not being more solidified in your belief. You may end up living with regrets years later, wondering like, oh, I wonder what could have been, what should have been, the coulda, woulda, shoulda game. Like, that's exhausting. You should have just trusted yourself. There's people out there who need your message, who want your offer, who need your leadership. And if you don't go after that, they may never get that. So your impact will be lost. That's sad to me. And then another price is your light gets dimmed and you literally walk through life playing a smaller version of yourself. And to that, I think that's sad. And it shows people actually see it. And when you let yourself continue to stay small, what you're actually teaching others is that their comfort is more important than you being fulfilled in life. That your ambition is something that you should be ashamed of. That you should shrink yourself so that others feel better about themselves. You're literally teaching them that their insecurities are your responsibility. And I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous to me. And at the end of the day, when we don't go after an opportunity that's put on our heart, I believe that every opportunity you don't take because of somebody else's fear or insecurity is an opportunity that somebody else will eventually take. I fully believe that these ideas are put on our heart. And when we don't take the bait and we don't respond to it, it's just going to get energetically passed on to someone else who will likely run with it. Every dream that you don't pursue is a dream that somebody who is braver than you will pursue. every vision that you abandon is a vision that somebody else will likely bring to life. And then they get the life you could have had. So again, be so solidified in your beliefs, so solidified in what you're excited about, what lights you up inside, that nobody's opinion, nobody's fears, nobody's insecurities can get in your way. That's what you should strive for. So, an example in my own life, okay, and I've had many of these, but I'm just going to go with a recent one. I decided that I was going to go all in on starting a local chapter. Did I have fears that I would struggle to find people? Yes. Did I have people in my life that maybe didn't think it was a good idea? Yes. But you guys, I was so solidified in my decision. My gut knew this was aligned for me. Was there an investment? Yes. 100% worth it, in my opinion. I felt called to start this sister circle chapter because I felt like I hadn't yet found the room or the community that just truly was fulfilling on all accounts. I had tried many rooms, each of them bringing great qualities and lots of positives into my life. But it always felt like there was one thing missing. And so after sitting on this for like almost an entire year, I went after it. And what lights me up about this opportunity is that the women that I get to put myself around because of starting a chapter are my kind of women. They are women that are consistently cheering each other on, consistently supporting each other, really holding each other accountable. It's just truly an amazing group of women. The values behind this sister circle is sisterhood, soul, and strategy. And they are just values that click for me. I can truly get behind these values. And for all of that, that's why I felt so solidified in this decision. Yes, there were certain people that didn't understand it. Yes, there were certain people that felt like it wasn't a good move. Yes, there was people who were fearful that this might not work out for me. But what I realized is that other people's lack of understanding doesn't mean it's wrong for me. That's just their fears that they have to problem solve. But if this was put on my heart and the nudges continue to come, there's a reason behind that. And I just felt very strongly that it was my job to trust my vision and not my job to convince other people to see the importance of it and just let the success of it speak for itself. And that's what's been happening, you guys. I built it. I'm building this community for our area with the help of Stefanie Ross, who is the CEO of Sister Circle. And people are showing up. People are DMing me about it. People are coming out of the woodworks wanting to know more about this and wanting to join. And how do I sign up? And it's been amazing. And it feels like this is the room I was meant to be leading. It gives me the opportunity to do more public speaking, to speak to literally my ideal audience, female entrepreneurs. Everything about it just feels so completely soul aligned. And anytime there's resistance, it doesn't feel so hard. The answers to any problem that I run into, they just naturally come. And it's been so cool to see this. I had my last soft launch social tonight, actually. And one of the Cedar Rapids Sister Circle members attended just to show her support for me. And she quoted the Field of Dreams movie and said, "If you build it, they will come." And I was like, oh my gosh. So I just live like 15 minutes down the road from the Field of Dreams, you guys. And it was so on point that she said that. Like, you're right. If I build a room, people will come. And they are. And it's so validating, especially going after something that like was the self-doubt there at times. Yeah, like I said, just a whisper because I'm only human after all. But when you feel so strong about something, you just want to see it succeed. And you don't want other people's fears to get proven right, honestly. But I continued to trust my vision. I continued to pour into that vision. And everything's just felt effortless. It's just coming together so effortlessly. I built the room. People are showing up. This community is starting. We're having our hard launch in September. And honestly, it feels so fucking great to watch this come to life despite the resistance. It feels so totally aligned for me. So the lesson I'm taking from this and why I'm sharing this with you is because there's always going to be people who don't understand, and that's okay. And they're not the people for it. And that's all right. You're not for everyone. You aren't. And you're not necessarily building this for the skeptics, okay? You're building it for your ideal client, your ideal customer, the women who need it. And the women who need it, they're going to show up because they're going to see the value in it just like you do. So I'm inviting you to ask yourself, what are some new offers or services that you're launching? What lights you up about them? Why does this feel so aligned for you? Who's questioning it? And what was their feedback? When I, over the last few years, have shared with people that I wanted to get certified in hypnotherapy, most people were extremely supportive of that goal. There was a select few, though, who would say things like, hypnotherapy? Who's going to do that in this area? Who's going to pay for that? That's too niche. That's too woo-woo. People aren't going to understand the value of that. Do you think I listened to those people? No. Do you think they understood my why? No. Do you think they're my ideal client? No. So I don't listen to those critics. And let me tell you, my ideal clients, people who want and are willing to pay for hypnotherapy, they are coming to me. And it has not been hard to find them. And they feel so totally aligned when they do. So don't let the resistance drag you down, because what you're going to realize from all of this is that their comfort zone, whoever they are, their comfort zone is not your roadmap to success. Their fear of being wrong is not your responsibility. Their insecurity about your success is not a valid reason for you to play small. So launch the thing anyways and see what happens and watch the impact of that. And then ask yourself, when it's all said and done, how does this feel? That I trusted myself more than other people's doubts. That should feel really freaking good. Because the people who don't understand, again, they're not your ideal clients. Your ideal clients, they will get it. They will see it and they'll be like, this is what I need. When you go towards something, despite any resistance, you are going to find your people. That's always been my experience. And you also have to remember, you're not placed on this earth to please everyone. And you honestly shouldn't even try to. It's impossible. If you try to make everyone comfortable, you're going to find it's impossible. And for every person who thinks something is a bad idea, there is also someone who thinks it's a brilliant idea. That I have seen true time and time again. For every person who's jealous of your success, there's someone on the other end of the spectrum who is cheering you on, celebrating you, and you cannot build your life around the people who don't understand. You just can't. Or if you do, you're going to fall into the people pleaser trap. So if you're a people pleaser, please don't take any offense to this, because a lot of high achievers are, because I used to be one, and I don't even feel like I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm just not a people pleaser anymore. But if you are a people pleaser, don't take offense to this, because you'll be tempted to dim your light if you are. You'll say things to yourself like, well, if I just make this smaller, if I just stay quiet about this, it'll be less threatening. And then everyone will think that it's okay. But it doesn't work that way. There is always going to be someone who doesn't understand your vision. And it's okay. Then they're just not your ideal customer, not your ideal client. That's okay. More than likely, our friends and family are not necessarily our ideal clients. Okay. You need to understand that as well. And the real problem isn't that people don't understand your vision. The real problem is that you are making their understanding become a requirement for you to move forward. And what that means is you're giving them your power over your life choices. And to me, that just seems silly. So what needs to shift is you need to make your vision the requirement, not other people's approval. You need to trust yourself more than you trust other people's doubts. You need to believe in what lights you up at the end of the day, even when other people don't see it or agree with it. So again, today's episode is a giant permission slip. I invite you to write yourself, literally like get a Post-it note, get a piece of paper and write yourself a permission slip. You do not need anyone's permission to pursue your vision. Write it. I do not need anyone's permission to pursue my vision. Write it out. You do not need other people's understanding, other people's approval, or other people's validation. Pause this and write that out. I do not need other people's understanding, their approval, or their validation. You just need to know it's right for you. Pause this and write that down. I just need to know that it's right for me. And then go after it, you guys. Go after it. Make that foundation solid that nobody's doubt is going to get in your way. So here's a little test, a little like inner test for you to do to know when to go forward despite any resistance. Okay. Because there's always going to be resistance. But this inner test, I think, will help with that. So go somewhere where you can really just sit with your thoughts, allow yourself to get quiet, do some deep breathing, ground yourself in the present moment, tune into your intuition, ask yourself the hard question. Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Does this light me up inside? Does this feel aligned? Don't overthink it. The first answer to come to the surface, that's your intuition speaking. Does it say yes, move forward? Or does it say no, this isn't meant for you? Listen to that. Don't judge what comes up. Just listen to it. Don't listen to what other people are saying. Just listen to what your inner guidance is telling you when you're alone with yourself and honest with yourself. And then some other things to ask yourself. Does this vision light me up inside? When you think about this, does it energize you? Does it excite you? Because then it's meant for you. Or does it bring dread up or obligation or heaviness? Because then it might not be aligned. If it's the latter, yes, that's resistance and it might be right, but not for the reasons that you're thinking. It just might be that it's not aligned for you right now, even. Another test or question you could ask yourself is, does this align with my values? Does it align with the vision I'm creating for my life? Does it align with who I'm becoming? Does it align with my higher self's goals? If any of that is a yes, and continue moving forward. I also like the audacity test. Is the resistance that you are receiving coming from people who are playing it safe? Or is it coming from people whose vision and courage you actually respect? If it's the former, their resistance tells you nothing about whether you should move forward or not. If it's the latter, their feedback is worth considering, just something to sit with. And then another thing you could ask yourself is look back over your life. Look back at times when you went forward with something despite the resistance, and then replay in your mind what happened in that instance. Did I regret it afterwards? Was I grateful that I trusted myself, or did I regret it? Because that answer is going to be proof on whether you can trust yourself again. Okay, so real quick, before I wrap things up, when you choose to stop dimming yourself, I want to talk about what could change for you. First, in business, when you choose to stop dimming yourself, your business is going to attract the right people, like the ones that truly get what you're building. They get your vision. You're going to repel the wrong ones who don't understand, which is good, right? You only want to attract your ideal clients. Your message that you push out there to people literally will become so clear for the people that need and want to hear it, especially if you're not watering it down. And then because of all that, your impact will be 10 times greater because you're showing up fully for yourself, not for the critics. When you stop dimming your light, what that does for your relationships is you're going to surround yourself with people who truly celebrate you, not people who diminish you or feel triggered by you. You are going to set more firm boundaries with people who are, let's say, like more toxic to you. You might invest in people or rooms who get you and see you and can support your future goals. You are going to pour into relationships of people who get you and see you. And your relationships all around will just become more authentic because you're no longer hiding. When you stop playing small, when you stop dimming your light, your confidence is going to grow 10 times, like more than you can imagine, because you're trusting yourself more, because you're doubting yourself less, because you now move through the world with this ease that you didn't have before, because you're realizing that all the decisions you make are coming from a place of alignment. And when you realize that, you truly become the person that other people want to follow. You become a magnetic version of yourself. When you stop dimming your light, what you're going to see in your life is you're now living for yourself, not for other people's approval. You're going to make bolder choices because you're no longer afraid of judgment. You're going to pursue bigger dreams because you no longer feel held back by other people's fears. And because of all of that, you are going to become the person that you were always meant to become. You're going to become more like that higher version of yourself. And when we strive for that, when we stop dimming our light, other people feel it. And yes, some people get uncomfortable because, again, it highlights their smallness, but other people are truly inspired and they see you going after what lights you up and they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, maybe I can do that too. And then there's this ripple effect and it's so freaking amazing, you guys. It's so amazing. So your courage literally gives other people permission to be courageous. The quote, I always butcher it, but it's something like, rising tides lifts all ships. I love that quote, you guys, because cheering other people on is only going to lift you higher. So let's cheer each other on because it brings us up even more. It doesn't hurt to cheer other people on. It doesn't diminish your success. If anything, it raises your success. Who you should not listen to. Do not listen to people who are afraid of their own power and are projecting that fear onto you. Do not listen to people who choose safety instead of going after their dreams. Do not choose people whose opinions are based on their own insecurities, not your situation in particular. And do not listen to people who haven't walked the path that you are walking. And that's important, you guys. If they haven't even walked in your shoes or even a path remotely similar to yours, then don't listen to them because they don't understand what it takes. But who you should listen to is people who've achieved something that you respect and can offer you actual real wisdom. You should listen to people who've celebrated you because they have nothing to gain from your smallness. You should listen to your intuition. That's a big one because a lot of us don't, because your intuition knows better than anyone else. And you should listen to yourself. You're just your own inner knowing. Okay? Before you let somebody else's opinion stop you, I want you to ask yourself, is this person's opinion worth my dream? Because for most people, the answer is no. So again, the people who don't understand your vision are not your people. And that's okay. You are not responsible for other people's comfort. You are responsible for your own fulfillment. And you can only be fulfilled when you are fully, unapologetically yourself. So here's the invitation. Go after what lights you up. Okay. Life's too short. Go after what lights you up. Build what you're feeling called to build. Launch what you're feeling called to launch. Trust yourself more than other people's doubts. And go all in, you guys. And if this is lighting a fire under your ass, then I invite you to spend some time reflecting. Ask yourself, what vision have I been holding back on because of somebody else's resistance? Do I need to reconsider that decision? If you know someone who you feel is consistently dimming their light just to keep others comfortable, maybe send this to them. They might need this permission slip more than you. And if you want support building your vision, stepping into your power, that's exactly what my coaching offer is for. Exactly what I do in my coaching offer. So let's work together. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful for you. As you can tell, I feel very strongly about this. And I know there's someone out there that just really needed to hear this. And if that someone was you, I would love to hear from you. All right, have a great rest of your week, you guys. I'll talk to you guys all next week.
Real quick before you go, I just want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And congratulations on showing up for you. Every step you take to invest in yourself brings you that much closer to your next level self, and I'm so proud of you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration, or take a screenshot and tag me on social so we can keep spreading the next level you energy. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Let's freaking go!